Ciao a tutti! Sono Nicole, and today I'll show you how to make my favorite pizzette recipe, or little pizzas. This recipe makes a super soft dough, ready in 4 hours, that you can top many different ways. Mille gusti! We'll just use our little hands today. No stand mixers required. E via! Choose a strong bread or pizza flour with a W between 260 and 280. Here's one of my favorite flours for this recipe, a quality Italian brand called Caputo. I'm using a dry instant yeast for this recipe, the kind we can add directly to the flour without first dissolving it in water. I always prefer to use a precision scale for baking. Some granulated sugar, some salt, and now I'm adding room temperature water. And remember, you can always find the list of ingredients and their quantities in the video description of any of our video recipes. Some olive oil. And I'm mixing it all together with my hands. If you have a stand mixer, of course feel free to use it for mixing and kneading. In case you don't, you can just knead the dough like this for about 8 minutes. After the knead, I let the dough ball rest covered for 30 minutes. And then I like to make a few folds to help reinforce the gluten structure, since this recipe does use a short proof. Molto facile. And now it's back to bed, covered of course, for about 3 hours, or until the dough is doubled in size. In the summer, you'll likely have no problem with the dough rise. But if it's cool in your environment, remember that you can always use your oven as a proofing box. Just set the dough covered into the oven at 30 degrees Celsius, light off, the light does add additional heat, and you'll have a more controlled proof. Bellissimo! Time to divide this dough into 8, more or less equal pieces. I use scissors for lots of dough portioning, and it works like a charm here too. It's a little nonna trick. Nonnas like to use scissors for everything, from dough portioning to pizza cutting. Make a tight ball out of each piece of dough. And then cover them loosely for another 30-minute proof. And now we can prepare 4 pizzette at a time on an oiled baking sheet. And now for the real fun. What toppings should we use? Now, I have a family of picky Italian eaters, so I like to make several varieties of pizzette. If you love to add onions, as I do, try my trick and pre-cook them in the microwave for 5 minutes or so to soften them up and make sure they are cooked enough for sensitive tummies. I also pre-cook grated potatoes just to be sure they are nice and tender when they come out of the oven. Nothing ruins a potato pizza more than raw potatoes. Potato, onion, and rosemary, a classic Italian combo. No, seriously, there's always a potato and onion pizza at any local pizzeria in Italy. You can also thinly slice the potato, and I add a drizzle of olive oil on top of each. This one I'll just make with rosemary. Without the weight of the toppings, we'll be sure to get a good rise. And for this one, I'm going to go with onion, cherry tomatoes, and oregano. Sicilian oregano, of course. Always Sicilian. Unless you can't find it, then Greek. These are the oreganos that have the best flavor. Bake in a preheated static oven at 230 Celsius, 445 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 minutes, positioning the grill in the center of the oven. And while we wait for these to bake, let's get the rest ready. For these, I'll use some new toppings. Here I'm adding anchovy paste. I love anchovies. It's such an easy way to add nutrition and flavor to recipes, including pasta. And what goes with anchovies in Italy? Why, zucchini flowers, of course! If you don't live in Italy, you may not know that in Italy, we love zucchini flowers. They are considered a real delicacy. It really makes me sad to think how they are just discarded in other parts of the world. Here we can even buy them in the supermarkets. And if you want to know how to fry fiori di zucca for a tasty, authentic Italian appetizer, check out the video for fried zucchini flowers on our channel. And for this pizza, I'm using a commercial sun-dried tomato paste. And why not? Let's add some cherry tomatoes too. Olive, onion, and sun-dried tomato paste. Tomato, onion, and cherry tomatoes. And this tray is also ready for the oven. Same temperature, same time, with one small variation. Once I see the pizzas are getting golden, I'm going to top some with shredded cheese and put them back in the oven, just long enough to melt the cheese. Here I'm using provolone, but you can also use shredded mozzarella, caciocavallo, and with a selection like this, surely everyone in the family can find something to enjoy. And how about you? What are your favorite toppings for homemade pizzette? Which of my topping combinations inspired you? And which made you gag? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, let YouTube know by clicking that like button. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Piatto Recipes for more trusted recipes from Italy and beyond. Click the bell for new video notifications. Ciao, ciao!